Hello everyone. Today's lesson is going to be on the factors that influence Western migration. After the Louisiana Purchase and the West was open to explorers, people started to need more room. They wanted to spread out. Land east of the Mississippi was pretty much spoken for. In the early days, you could arrive by boat on the Atlantic coast, go stake out some land, put your farm there, and land was free. By this point, the land is pretty much taken up. So all these immigrants that are still coming to this country every day don't have any room to farm. So they start spreading well past the Mississippi River. As they go past the Mississippi River, there's not a lot out there, okay? So they have to basically start from scratch. One of the biggest reasons why people go west is cheap land. Cheap land is good land. If you come here as an immigrant and don't have a whole lot, you can't really afford to buy land, so you go where the land is cheap. It was also very fertile. It was a good place to grow cotton and any type of wheat or grain. That's why that area is called the breadbasket of our country right now. Also lumber. The further west you went, the more trees were still standing. So you had a better chance of cutting down these large trees. They would put them on the Mississippi River, push them upriver, over to the Ohio, the Erie Canal, and get them out to the Atlantic Ocean. Another reason why people went west was it was getting easier. They had improved transportations. They're starting to build railroads and steamboats, and it's getting easier to travel. You don't just have to travel by covered wagon. There were two ways, by the way, that you could get all the way to California. You could go the overland route, which would be by covered wagon, or you could go all the way down around South America, all the way to the tip and back up the other side to California. That was the more expensive way to travel, but it was also faster. Another reason why people went west was for freedom. The biggest group that went west were runaway slaves. If you were a slave in the deep South, it wasn't feasible for you to run to freedom to the north, so you would go west. West was a whole lot faster to get to. These states had not been established yet, and they weren't slave states or free states. So runaway slaves could go out there and set up their farm and live in freedom. Of course, they always lived with the fear that they were going to be caught and brought back east, but not slave catchers at that time were going to the north and not to the west. Also in 1849, we had something called the gold rush. Somebody found some gold in California, and people wanted to get rich quick, just like today when people play the lottery, and people started rushing to California and bringing their pans and picks and digging for gold. I put this chart in your packet. It says economic factors, and it has all the factors already listed there. If we were in class together, we would fill this out as a note page, but it's already done for you in your packet. Another reason why people went west is that we believed that it was our manifest destiny to spread coast to coast. We didn't care who was in our way, what was in our way. It was our God-given right to spread to the other coast, to the Pacific coast, and that's what we were going to do. We ended up fighting wars with Mexico and Spain, and coming to compromises with Britain, and displacing a lot of Native Americans and their tribes, but we did it. We spread coast to coast. That's called manifest destiny, and it wasn't always pretty, and it's parts of it our country should be ashamed about how we treated the people in our wake, but we spread coast to coast. The people that did go west, most of them sold their farm, sold everything they had to go west, so they didn't come back. Okay. Also remember, logging and beaver hunting in the Oregon Territory was also a reason to go west. The last page that you need to do for me for week 3 is in your packet, and it looks like this. And there's a word bank, and you only use the word once. Fill them in, take a picture of it, just number them 1 through whatever, type them up, send it to me through email. That's all that we have to do this week. Next week, we're going to move on to inventions and entrepreneurs and the abolitionist movement, which was the movement to free slaves, and the suffrage movement, which was the movement to give women equal rights. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please email me. I'm always open to suggestions, and just keep an open line of communication. If you talk to some of your friends and they say, yeah, I haven't seen any of Mrs. Yago's work, I haven't done anything yet, lead them to the classroom website where the worksheets are posted for week 1 through 3. This weekend I'll work on posting week 4. That takes us halfway through what we need to do. 3 more weeks to go. Stay safe. I hope you guys are staying well, and I miss you. Have a good weekend. Bye.